Hey, family, welcome to another edition of Cool Jazz Conversations. My name is Marcellus Shepard, the Bassman. So it is said that when one travels to the intersection of jazz, rhythm and blues, gospel and soul, that one of the women who sits at that musical crossroad is none other than vocalist and composer Christie Dashiell. Welcome to Cool Jazz Conversations. How you doing, love?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
Listen, the pleasure is all mine. I have been a fan for a long time. I've been watching you for a long time. And so just being a part of viewing your journey has just been so rewarding for me. Let's take it back, if you will, and start out of the gate talking about jazz legacy. You're born in DC, raised down in Carolina, coming out of a musical family. Your father, one of the best to ever do it, the great bassist, Carol Dashiell Jr., he toured with the great saxophonist and former sideman of James Brown, Maceo Parker, played with none other than Ray Charles, mentored by the great Dr. Billy Taylor. Talk about Pops for a minute, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, just hearing you say that sometimes I think I forget what a legacy my dad created for me and my siblings. Just because, like, he's my dad,
Right.
I imagine children take their parents for granted, but hearing you say that really puts it into perspective. My dad is a world renowned musician, and I think it was his love for music and his doing it at such a high level that really drew me and my siblings to the music arena. And I saw him when I was probably 5 or 6. I was really, really young, and he was probably around my age. And I saw him tour with Maceo and Ray Charles and all these people, and I thought, wow, that's exactly what I want to do. I didn't know what it really meant to do that,
Right.
but I knew that that was what I wanted to do. And so the legacy is, you know, it can be intimidating to walk in his footsteps because he's left such a big legacy, and they're huge footsteps to fill. But I'm feeling good about the path that he carved, and I so gladly walk kind of behind. And
And when you say we, you're speaking of your siblings because you're not the only musical talent in the family, having three siblings as well. I believe you got what? So it's two vocalists, or is it three vocalists and a drummer?
yeah, so my mom is a singer too, and then my
Okay.
sister sings, and then my brother plays drums, and another brother plays the bass. So it's a
There we
full
go.
on band. Yeah.
Yeah. Y'all walk into the club and say, we got next.
Like, oh, it's a lot of people that look like twins talking about they want to get on stage now.
Let me tell you, truly, you all look alike. If there's any family out there where everybody looks
Yeah,
alike, it is the Dashiell family for sure. For sure.
yeah, it's undeniable.
Yes, so listen, we finally got some new music from you. And I hate to say finally like that. I mean, it's only been what, 7 years, right, since you hit with your debut, Time All Mine, which definitely had some gems on it. I was bopping to How to Love, back then. I was like,
Hey,
wait a minute, wait. I said, it's Lil Wayne. You flipped
that's
that
Little
joint.
Wayne.
You flipped that joint, had me in the
Yeah.
groove. I played the hell out of it and made sure I turned some folks on to it as well. But your brand new album, As a Leader, Journey in Black. What I truly appreciate about this album, Christy, is that you have so many originals on here, 7 original tunes out of the 9, which I think really showcases your growth as a leader. And then having the two arrangements on there that just, man, of the covers that just really blew my mind, and we'll talk about those shortly. But you're joined by an all-star cast of musicians, some good company, Shedrick Mitchell, Marquise Hill, the great wizard Alan Johnson on piano, Roman Mendez, your brother CV, doing work on drums, and then come to find out, I didn't realize this at first, but there were 2 songs that I heard on the album. I said, wait a minute, that really feels and sounds like, you know, Diane Reeves. And then come to find out that there was some musical guidance from Diane Reeves on this. Tell me how that came to be.
Yeah. So Diane Reeves is now, I affectionately call her Auntie Di,
Nice.
became an artist, educator, and mentor of mine through this program, through Chamber Music America. And during the pandemic, someone recommended that I apply for some grant money. And this grant, if I were to get it, was to fund a demo and put us in touch with an artist educator of our choice. And so I ended up getting the grant. And Diane Reeves was like the first person that came to mind when I thought about the music that I was writing.
Yeah.
And she so wonderfully and graciously said yes. And it was just kind of like, you know, an immediate connection the first time we talked. And she gave me more than the time that the grant even asked for. So I'm so glad she's been a part of this journey, because I don't think I could have done it without her.
I mean, it's like getting a masterclass up close and personal from someone who has years of experience and depth and knowledge, and to be able to get that firsthand, I mean, truly a blessing. The album starts out with the ancestral song, which I was like, okay, Diane had her hand all on this for sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, from the very first note, I said, wait a minute. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I want folks to hear a little bit of that right now. So this is Christie Dashiell doing Ancestral Song here on Cool Jazz Conversations.
Today's a new song. Yesterday's come and gone. Hearts will cling to the sun. Oh, they're dancing on. Through the wind does she drift. In the night leaves a gift. Lovers singing her song. How she dances on. Watching on as they stand, she will take them by hand, guiding light through the night, a new dawn shining bright. For today's a new song, yesterday's come and gone. Hearts will cling to the sun. Oh, they're dancing. Yesterday's come and gone. Hearts will cling to the sun. Oh, they're dancing on. Through the wind does she drift. In the night leaves a gift. Lovers singing a song. How she dances on. Watching on as they stand. She will take them by hand, guiding light through the night. A new dawn shining bright. For today's a new song. Yesterday's come and gone. Hearts will cling to the sun. Oh, they're dancing on. Oh, they're dancing on. Oh, oh, they're singing on. Hey. And they're believing on. Hey. There she lies, the glow of dusk on her face, as she dances through here and now. Time escapes. With bated breath, through the opening they look on. Steadily and surely the clouds drift, as she awakens to a new dawn. The time changes, and still they move. An unwavering pulse, yet lost in the groove. A groove so jagged and worn, while smoothly they glide. Their last dance, for too long have they tried.
Truly blowing you away, the ancestral song. You hear the spirits of the ancestors coming through in every note. This is from the brand new release, hot off the press, Journey in Black, the second album from our guest today, Christie Dashiell. Thank you again for taking time to hang out with us here. I want to move into another song here because there's just so many great pieces of music on this album, and you're talking about so many things on here, as you know, which I probably would say are personal to you, but you know, themes of freedom, of legacy, of grief, and of joy. And one of the songs simply called Grief, and the lyrics, man, oh my gosh, like they hit you, struggling with the truth of what's been inside so long. Who hasn't struggled with the truth?
Mm-hmm.
Where did the song come from?
I was a lot of this music was written during the pandemic. This one sort of took shape a little bit before the pandemic, but I really finished it in the middle of like when we were locked down. And I remember wanting to write a song about grieving people that are still here on earth, like in the physical space, but you know, for whatever reason, maybe emotionally aren't with you anymore or mentally aren't with you. So that was kind of the intention, but then it transformed during COVID and during the lockdown. I was so sad because I thought like, wow, I had all these things lined up to happen, and people had said, you know, this is your time and this is your season. You know, we all thought 2020 is the year of promises and, you know, everything.
Oh, man.
And, you know, none of us knew that 2020 would be the year of extreme change, grief, loss. And so I think it was through experiencing the lockdown and I lost some family members that grief just ended up becoming something totally different.
But you said something that I don't think we think about enough. The physical grief of losing someone who is still in your life. Like, what a powerful realization is that, right? And we all know that some people are only in our life for a season, right? However long that season is, but there's some people who walk away from us or we walk away from them, and it leaves a hole there, right? In your heart, you know, wondering how they're doing, what they're doing, why they did what they did, why we couldn't reconcile, you know, whatever the case is. But that grief is so true, struggling with the truth of what's been inside so long. Let's take a listen to it now. This is called Grief here on Cool Jazz Conversations.
Is this your unveiling of an unaccepted soul? Have we all imposed some vision, not quite the whole, struggling with the truth of what's been deep inside so long? There lies the bloom. It has become your heart song. Morning comes and morning goes, tears on repeat, but truth will stand as you become a soul beyond belief. I'm struggling with the truth. Oh, what's been deep inside so long? Therein lies the blue. It has become your heart song. Ooh la la, 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 ooh la la,
What an incredible tune coming to you from the brand new album Journey in Black. Christie Dashiell hanging out with us here on Cool Jazz Conversations. So let's go back to your upbringing in school, your education, if you will. Went to one of the great HBCUs out there, none other than Howard University, which some call the real HU. We will not go into that debate right now. It's a great HBCU nonetheless, right? And then also educated at the Manhattan School of Music. But while you were at Howard, you sang in the university's premier jazz vocal ensemble, Afro Blue, which kind of opened things up on a whole different level for you exposure-wise. I had the pleasure of singing at the National Treasure, Morgan State University, under the great late Nathan Carter. And I know that my time in that choir under his tutelage kind of shaped my musical landscape, the lens of my musical landscape. Share with us about your time at Howard and specifically with Afro Blue.
Yeah, I mean, you studied with one of the greats. And the same, I feel like singing with Afro Blue completely changed my world when it came to harmony, the understanding of ensemble work, and also just like understanding jazz language and nuance and, all the things that music, the gift that it is. It really shaped my voice too, just understanding my instrument and the flexibility of my instrument and also the soul of my sound. It was definitely like one of those classes that completely transformed me. I came in singing one way and thinking about music one way, and by the time I had spent 4 years in the ensemble, and even after I graduated from Howard, I spent some time in the ensemble. I was just a completely new musician, a changed musician.
So here it is, you get your education there, you go on to grad school, and now it's full circle with you working as an educator now over at Temple. You're still at Temple?
I left Temple, but I was at Temple for about 5 years. And
okay.
Now I'm at Howard. I'm teaching that.
Oh, so totally full circle.
Yeah. Completely full. Yeah.
That's amazing. So what is it that you're instilling in your students now that was shared with you while you were in college?
I think I know what was shared with me in college was just this love for jazz music, and some frame it as Black American music, which I lean towards that title a little bit. Yeah. I understood at Howard what it was to be a creator of this music and this art form. And to I think when I studied at Howard, I felt this ownership of the music that I didn't before. I always knew that jazz was Black music and created by Black people. But it was when I got to Howard that I got to study that in a real way. And hopefully that's what I'm instilling in my students. I've seen a lot of people take this kind of music in, because the music is for everyone. It's for everybody to enjoy and to play and to listen to. Right. But sometimes I see this feeling where it's being shaped and molded into something that isn't ours, and we're being pushed out of it. My hope is to instill in my students the taking back of what is ours and owning it with pride.
So how does this next generation view the musical landscape now?
That's such a good question. They challenge me. This generation challenges me because they have tools at their disposal that I did not have, even though I am of a generation that was, fully immersed in technology. This generation coming up after me, even more so. So because of that, I think sometimes they really want instantaneous results, and in the best way and sometimes in the worst way. They teach me the best way that, you don't have to do all of this longhand to get to this result, which is, this is cool. This is a user-friendly, smart way to get to a result. And also sometimes I see how that, you know, without the process, by the end, by the result, you're missing some depth that the process kind of teaches you. So I think in terms of their understanding of the landscape of music, they have some work to do, as well as we do too, like as embracing kind of this new landscape, I think.
Is jazz even still on the forefront of their minds?
I think for some of them it is. And I think what I see with artists like Samara Joy, she is introducing jazz music and making it kind of cool for like this generation. And I think because of that, and because of maybe some of the technology that this generation has, there is this new excitement, like, oh, jazz is cool again, it's hip, it's fresh, let's learn it. So I think I see it entering the forefront in a way that maybe 3, 4, 5 years ago, it wasn't. I think a few years ago, it felt like jazz was something of, you know, our parents' generation or grandparents' generation, but I see it changing, which is really encouraging.
That's always great to hear, especially from someone who's on the front lines, if you will, being a gateway for the next generation, right? So let's hop back into the music now. Again, so many great gems on here. We've talked about 2 of the originals that you have on there, but let's go to a cover on here. And when I heard this, I said, man, she better stop. Like, what is she doing? Like, you have to be bold to tackle this particular cover. Anyone who had a heart, you know, the beautiful tune that Dionne Warwick first put on the scene. You know, a lot of people have Luther in their mind, right? But this was Dionne Warwick in her heyday, and it truly was a classic. But you got some organ slow grinding going on here, and Alan Johnson just, you know, doing his wizardry. Before we hop into that song, talk about Alan Johnson and what he brings to the table as both a pianist and an arranger as well.
Oh yeah, Alan, he's a mentor too. I connected with Alan when I was a student at Howard and thought, wow, I want to play with him one day. And then, you know, we make music, we hang out, that's my brother. And so I'm really grateful that he's a part of my life. And anytime I'm in the process of like putting together collections of music, I know it's important to include songs that are familiar to people, because, you know, my originals are important. They're my voice. And sometimes people need like a little bit of a gateway, if you will, to get into that.
You pull them in. Yeah.
You got to reel the folks in.
Yeah.
And so Alan, you know, had this idea. He said, I'm working on this arrangement of Anyone Who Had a Heart. I know Alan is the guy anytime I want to reimagine something, but reimagine it in a way that fits my voice and fits our vibe as a band. And he brought this thing to rehearsal, and it just was like, wow, let's do it. And we just flowed and found the right kind of synergy. And then it felt like there was a missing piece after we recorded it. And that's when I called on Shedrick Mitchell to come and lay that soulful organ.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Well, let's get into that right now. This is Anyone Who Had a Heart, taken from the brand new release Journey in Black from Christie Dashiell here on Cool Jazz Conversations.
Anyone who ever loved could look at me and know that I love you. Anyone who ever dreamed could look at me and know I dream of you. would take me in his arms and love me too. You couldn't really have a heart and hurt me like you hurt me and be so untrue. Ooh, what am I to do? Every time you go away, I always say, this time is goodbye, dear. Oh, loving you the way I do, I take you back. 'Cause without you I die, dear. Knowing I love you so. Anyone who had a heart would take me in his arms and love me too. You couldn't really have a heart and hurt me like you hurt me and be so untrue. Ooh, what am I to do? Every time you go away, I always say, this time is goodbye, dear. Loving you the way I do, I take you back. 'Cause without you I die, dear. Knowing I love you so. Oh, anyone who had a heart would take me in his arms and love me too. You couldn't really have a heart and hurt me like you hurt me and be
anyone who had a heart would know, boy, let me tell you, would know. Anyone who had a heart. Dionne Warwick is smiling from ear to ear. I hope that at some point in time you can get this song to her and have her, you know, listen, send you a video back, some feedback. You know, she deserves to hear this, because you definitely did.
I never thought about that. That should make it a point to try and find a way to get this to her.
You know somebody that knows somebody that knows her. So yeah, I think it's important to do so, right? Because you're giving her flowers at the same time.
Yeah, and I mean, that's another thing I wanted to do with this music, is highlight women, you know, that maybe don't always get the shine that they deserve. And so thank you for seeing that piece too.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Another song that I heard on here that just made me say, wait a minute, am I hearing? I laughed because I had to turn it off for a second and say, wait, all right, let me start this over again. I started over again and I'm like, okay, she ain't slick. She ain't slick at all. You got a little bit of Slum Village in there. Fall in Love on Invitation, on the classic Invitation. You threw in some Slum Village in that arrangement. I said, get the heck out of here. Whose idea was that?
We gotta honor our people. And, you know, Jay Dilla, who is, you know, a producer of that record, gotta honor him. Yeah. So this arrangement came together when I was doing a residency in Doha, Qatar. Another great DC born and bred man, Noble Jolly, at the time was playing piano on that gig. And we were putting together some tunes, and I said, da, 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 da. You know, I was checking that Slum Village out. We were like, oh, let's put this on top of this. And then Noble just went crazy. He just went crazy, took my idea, and then, you know, it was like, okay, we got to do this. Yeah.
Isn't it so great that, you know, you could be in a sound check and a small little riff can just evolve into this complete arrangement, right? This powerful song that is just going to elevate you, but also bring others along as well, right? Because anybody that, you know, may not listen to jazz, but they listen to, you know, neo soul, hip hop, and they hear that, they're like, before you know it, they're so deep in it. They're like, okay, I can rock with this. I can ride with this. So I think it's incredible, but I think it's equally important to bring other folks into the fold anyway that you can. Any way that you can.
Any way that you can. And, you know, that's the beauty of us growing up, you know, with this music, like as a soundtrack to our lives. It all informs, you know, my artistry. So, you know, a little Slum Village here, a little Count Basie here comes together. Well, this is not a Count Basie song, but essentially, you know, some of the great jazz composers mixed with our love for hip hop and gospel, they come together and create, you know, the most wonderful music.
Most definitely. Let's hop into it now. This is your invitation. You're on Cool Jazz Conversations.
Wherever I go, of the dawn, and always your eyes hold that same invitation. Then you are gone. Where, oh where have you gone? How long must I stay in this world of illusion? Be where you are, so near yet so far apart. Hoping you'll say with a warm invitation, where have you been? Darling, come into my heart. Oh, you and your smile.
groove. It is a standard reimagined in a powerful way, and definitely laying it out in a way that the next generation can appreciate, latch on to, and continue to learn about. Our guest today, Christie Dashiell, she is sporting a brand new smile backed by her brand new album, Journey in Black. You can pick that up. What label is this album on?
This is all independent. It's a labor of love. My husband, my partner, and I put our everything into this. So it's our label that is yet to be named.
I was just about to say, what's the name of the label?
I guess, maybe the label, we don't really have a name. We have a working name that we use for our little production studio. It's called Crazy Music. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a dope name for a label. So I think you should stick with that. Just from me to you. Just putting that out there. Christie, how great is it to be in demand? You, of course, have been performing on small stages, for years, and occasionally getting out there on the bigger stages. But I know you recently performed at the 2023 Pittsburgh Jazz Festival. Tell me about your experience there.
It's been a ride. I mean, I hope I'm just at the beginning, but I spent a lot of time working with different band leaders and doing work as a side person. And it's been really amazing. That work is really fun. And at the same time, I knew that I wanted to, with the release of this album, transition to more band leading. Mm-hmm. And the Pittsburgh Jazz Festival was the first festival that my band and I headlined, one of the first major festivals.
Congrats.
And it just a dream come true. Mm. I'm still downloading all of the things that happened. It was just about a month ago. And it feels good to be in demand after feeling, for many years that I didn't maybe have a voice as a leader. So it's nice to hear that people believe in my band leading work. It's really nice.
That's dope, and that's huge, and congrats to you. I know there's definitely more to come on those stages, but what would you say is the biggest difference for you taking on a festival stage to that of intimate venue of, say, 125 people, right, instead of 3,000 or more?
Yeah. Well, I like a true jazz musician, love clubs and intimate spaces, house concerts and all that stuff. It feels like home, those spaces, because I think you get to really feel your audience in a way that you sometimes don't on larger stages. Mm-hmm. And I find that I'm a little bit more experimental in those spaces. But the festival stages, the larger stages, you get to just be big and bold and take risks and chances, and be unapologetic in a way that is not normal for me, but is really kind of cool to just be. And I find that on festival stages, that's the opportunity I have to be bold. It's fun.
It's a beautiful thing, and I love seeing you do it. Let's hop back into the music now. Again, I mentioned your songwriting, your composing has definitely been elevated. And I'm a big lyricist. I'm big on the lyrics. I'm the guy that would read the liner notes to, read every single lyric on there. Now, we don't have liner notes on this one, but I've listened to the album enough to know exactly what is being said, right? But there's a song on here, and you have some beautiful ballads on here. Lord have mercy. But this song right here, I think, is going to resonate with so many people. As a matter of fact, I already see that on Spotify, it's one of your most listened to songs on this album. How It Ends. How It Ends is this amazing song. Lyrics says, I wish we could go back to how things were before life got in the way and bitter cold winds blew the hurt. Can we start again? I really miss my best friend. Evermore, I thought we would spend. This can't be how it ends. Let me tell you, I felt a chill when I heard this song, a literal chill, because I don't care who you are, what relationship you are in, whether you're married, dating, divorced, at some point in your relationship, you feel like this. Can we start over again? I really miss my best friend. Oh my gosh, that just spoke to me on so many levels. Tell me about this song, please.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, thank you for saying that. This song sounds romantic, and it is in a way, but it's also about one of my literal best friends. We had a really kind of tough, we hit a real deep rough patch. And I thought, oh, we're over, like we're done. And the thing about like platonic friendships or non-romantic friendships is they sometimes have this romantic element where like you fall in love with your actual friends.
Yeah.
And that was the case in this relationship. So when she was out of my life, I was just so devastated.
Wow.
And I wrote this song, and it was kind of through this song and through also some heartbreaking romantic relationships that I came up with this concept. And then I wrote the song and we made up. So it was like this song sort of brought this healing that I'd been wanting, which was nice.
Oh man, that is so beautiful. And I'm so thankful to hear that you all have reconciled, right? Because that's not always the case. But man, the gift you have to be able to put your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions to pen and paper and to give birth to something like this it is truly amazing. Truly.
Thank you.
Truly. Family, let's listen to it now. I want you to close your eyes as you hear it, unless you're driving. Close your eyes and fully hear what this song is saying. It is called How It Ends, here on Cool Jazz Conversations.
Wondering where we went wrong. Even as I sit and write this song, I wish we could go back to how things were before life got in the way and bitter cold winds blew the hurt. Can we start all over again? I really miss my best friend. Evermore I thought we'd spend. This can't be how it ends. To dance and laugh all night. Your spirit alone made all things feel just right. Somehow we let all the outside noise interfere. Now
sometimes I wish we could go back to how things were before life, right? And it's life on so many levels, right? Life happens. And so we have to make sure that in all our relationships, we are constantly pouring into it. I tell folks all the time, as it pertains to, intimate relationships, treat your and this could go platonic relationships as well, but treat your relationship like a savings account. Always be putting something into it so that when life's withdrawals come, you have enough in that account to sustain your relationship. So what are you talking about, Bass? So the deposits are words of affirmation, gifts, quality time, right? All those things, so that when life's withdrawals come, what are life's withdrawals? Somebody loses a job. Somebody's parents die, right? And any and everything can happen, but you have to make sure that you have something in that account so that when those withdrawals come, you still have a foundation to stand on. So so that you won't be to that point in which it ends. So
it's so true. It's like, this other element too, like this friend and I, we grew up together. Well, I mean, we were like in college and that age together. And so this transition to like adulthood completely shifted things when we have husbands now and we have responsibilities and children and all kinds of things that we don't get to braid each other. Dogs, clearly. But we weren't able to spend the time that we used to together. And it took us a while to get over that and understand, like, just because we're not with each other every day, that doesn't mean that our love is any less potent or strong. But you're right. It's those deposits that make the difference.
Yeah. Let's go back, if you will, because I want you to talk about this. The 2015 Thelonious Monk Institute Jazz International Vocal Competition. You were, a semifinalist in this competition. First off, talk about your experience there before I get into the other question that I want to ask you.
Yeah, that was really cool because I, grew up with a family that was always like watching the Monk competition, like trying to see who's the next young jazz musician that's going to come out of this competition.
It's the premier competition, yes.
Yeah, and so very early on, I was like, I want to do that. And so I auditioned for it a couple of times, and the second time I made it to the semifinals. And I just had so many hopes and aspirations at the time. It was a little while ago, about 10 years ago. And so things were different and I saw life differently, and I thought, this is it, this is my ticket. So I remember being really sad when it didn't work out in the way that I wanted it to. But also I got to meet like Jazzmia Horn and Vuyo Sotashi and all these incredible vocalists that have become like, I feel like brothers and sisters and siblings in kind of the journey. So it was an experience that was hard, and also I got so many really great lessons and friends out of it.
Well, definitely. And you mentioned two names already. For those that didn't know, Jazzmia Horn won that competition. She was first place. Second place was Veronica Swift, and then Vuyo Sotashi came in third place. Three incredible vocalists that have gone on to do amazing things. Jazzmia, of course, multi-Grammy Award winner now. Veronica has some great projects out there. Vuyo, in my opinion, is not getting the love that he definitely deserves, but he's still on that trajectory. So it's coming. It's coming. Yeah. But, so to lose this competition, and I don't even want to say lose, but to be in this competition and see these folks rise, right? I'm sure that had to give you some confidence. But then on the other side, number two, you singing in front of this judging panel that consisted of Patty Austin, Didi Bridgewater, Al Jarreau, Freddie Cole. I mean, those are the best of the best, right? So what did that do for your confidence as a young vocalist to be able to hold your own on that stage with these singers, number one, but then on that stage in front of jazz royalty? What did that do for your confidence?
Yeah, I'd forgotten that all those folks were on the panel. I think I tried to block it out. I remember trying to close my eyes so I couldn't see. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done it. But I remember after singing in front of them, I remember thinking this, that the panel of musicians that were there, the singers specifically, were singers that I wanted to be like, in that they weren't singing just straight ahead music. They were singing music that was influenced by all kinds of things. And I remember leaving the competition feeling like I'm not jazz enough. I don't sing straight ahead enough. But then also there was this side to it that was like, but no, I'm exactly who I am. And those judges specifically are the perfect people to kind of demonstrate that just be true to your art and your music and whoever you are. So it did give me that extra confidence to believe in the gift that I have, or at the time had, and to explore all these sounds and be unapologetic about exploring that in my sound.
Well, let me go ahead and say it first, my dear. You are up next.
Oh, thank you.
Plain and simple. And this album is a clear indication of that. We only have time for one more song, and I want to hop into this one because it's so poetic to me. The lyrics say, when you smile, there's a melody I hear all day long, and your eyes are like a violin that plays on and on. You are the only one who makes me feel this way. I'm yours forever. I will always stay. Always Stay, the name of the tune. Tell us about this composition.
Well, this is for my dear husband, who we're celebrating 10 years married in a couple days.
Congratulations. Hey, congrats.
No joke. 10 years married is nothing to play with, because it's many ups and downs, but it's through, I think, my relationship with him that I see so much of myself. And, came to this kind of truth that, like, no matter what, we're going to be here for each other always. So he's kind of my muse.
Beautiful muse he is, and what a beautiful song this is. Again, it is called Always Stay. Christie Dashiell right here on Cool Jazz Conversations. I am yours forever.
will always stay. Even through the fights, I will always stay. Through the warm nights and the cold nights, I will always stay.
Always Stay, the name of the song, and this one is always going to stay on the radio, and we hope that it is always going to stay in rotation on your speaker box at home. You got to check out none other than Christie Dashiell. The latest album is out now. It is called Journey in Black. It is self-produced. She put it out independently. And we look forward to more music coming out from her and other artists coming out on her own label. We're going to speak that into existence right now.
All right.
Yes.
Yep.
Christie, tell folks where they can get in contact with you via social media and what your website is so that they can pick up the album as well.
Yes, I'm on all platforms except TikTok, but you can find me at Christie Dashiell on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and my website is my name, christiedashiell.com. I stay pretty active on these sites, so just shoot me a DM, and I'd love to hear, people's thoughts.
Well, you can shoot her a DM, but do not slide into her DM.
Okay, don't slide. I am taking.
Yes, 10 years married, okay? These songs are not written for you, but they're written for you to enjoy. How about that? How about that? Listen, that is going to do it for this edition of Cool Jazz Conversations. Christie Dashiell, thank you so much, my dear, for taking time out to be a part of the program today, my dear. It has truly been a blessing.
No, bless you. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Well, family, the show is a production of TVM Productions, broadcast from its home of WSSB 90.3 FM at South Carolina State University. Check out the podcast. We're on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Alexa, Amazon, Player FM, pretty much anywhere you can listen to a podcast, and you can go and download it at your convenience at Cool Jazz Conversations at podbean.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Cool Jazz Conversations. I'm your host, Marcellus Shepard, the Bassman. Until next time, peace.